Welcome back, my friends. We are back at it again. It's 7:30 Eastern. That is the time that we go live here on the channel. My name's Gavin. Thanks for being here. We are continuing on listening to these jailhouse recordings that were released from the state's attorney's office for the 9th Judicial District. Sorry. Got my phone going there and I'm incepting myself. Yeah, the state's attorney's office there in the 9th Judicial District of Florida released several phone calls that were recorded between Stephan Stearns and his parents. It's been covered by several channels. We are going at them kind of two at a time, taking our time, giving a good listen, having a good discussion. Of course, we're talking about the case of Madeline Soto. Quick little recap. Madeline was 13 years old when it was the day after her 13th birthday party. Her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, a man named Stephan Stearns, was to take her to school. He never did that. Instead, he took her already deceased body and dumped it. I'm very sorry to say that so crassly and so crudely, but that's what he did. He dumped it in a field next to a stand of bamboo near the St. Cloud area. And there have been questions swirling around, including by myself, about the involvement of Madeline's mom, Jen Soto. It just seems very strange that she didn't have anything to do with this, considering that Mr. Stearns was found in his possession on his Google Drive to be in possession of 1,700 pieces of digital evidence, photos and videos of his prolonged 5-year SA of little Maddie. So he was arrested. He has been charged with her SA. In the state of Florida, they could seek the death penalty on that. They're not. But on the murder trial, which he has also been charged with, the murder case, let's call it, because it's not a trial yet, they are seeking that. So he is facing the ultimate penalty in the death of Madeline Soto. Now, this is our third... What is it? Yeah, this is our third session listening to these. So far, we've learned that apparently both Madeline and Jennifer had crushes on Stephan, and he knew it, and they would fight over him. That's his claim. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying he claimed it. He has claimed that, he panicked, and he should have made a better choice, but he didn't do it. That somebody else caused the death of little Madeline. He even questioned, why would I want to do that? Okay. What other things? Well, tonight he's going to claim that he wasn't even in the room when Madeline died, which begs the question, well, if you came in to a room where there is a dead young lady, one that you claim to love as a stepfather, then why on earth did you go and dump her body out in the field? Why'd you do that? And I guess we're going to listen. Now, why are we doing this? Are we doing this to punish ourselves? Because this is not fun. It's interesting for sure, but there's nothing fun about this. Is this self-flagellation on our part? No. I think it's important for us to get into the mind of a predator like Stephan Stearns and try to figure out, is this a monster that was born or a monster that was created? Is it a little bit of both? And was he born a monster but then kind of coddled and that monstrous tendency, I guess, amplified? I don't know. But this is why I'm listening to these anyway, and I'm glad that you're joining me. Going to go ahead and put on the old headphones because I don't want any echoing. I want good audio tonight. All of my sound bars are looking okay. All right, so what we're going to listen to tonight is this recording, which took place on June 2nd of 2024. Remember, this is before the Stearns, his parents, went on Hidden True Crime here on YouTube. They didn't know. Well, they knew they were being recorded. They probably didn't realize that the recordings would be let out. But anyway, it's June 2nd. This is a day after, not a full day, but pretty much. I mean, from the night of the 1st was the last one that we listened to, and now we're on the afternoon of the 2nd. The second video that we're going to watch, or audio that we're going to listen to today, is from June 7th, so about 5 days later at 7:43 p.m. In between those times, there's several missed calls. I could pull it up here. I didn't prepare to kind of tell you how many there were, but there were some missed calls in there, and they got back together on the 7th for another conversation. These are 15-minute chunks. They basically only have 15 minutes to talk. So let's go to this one right here. We're going to do our best to just put Madeline on the screen for the most part here. But let's go ahead and begin. Let me skip ahead about a minute and a half, minute and 40, something like that.
From
Stephan Stearns,
an inmate at Office. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey, is this okay to call you now?
Yeah, I just finished up with some customers, so good timing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was worried that you'd probably, because I know the weekends are busy for you. So we had a little
Real
under an
quick, if you want me to see your chat, put GF in your comments so I can see it on my side, just as a quick reminder.
Before the phone system turns off.
What time's it turn off?
4:30 until 7:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I got time.
Okay. So I just used the commissary kiosk, and I looked into the reading glasses. They're $11.50 a piece. And they start at 1.25 and step up in quarter increments all the way up to 2.5.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? 1.5?
1.5. I guess I could start with that.
Yeah. Do you get a chance to try? I guess you don't get a chance to try tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay. Well, let's go for one. Let's try 1.5.
Okay. We'll try 1.5. I'll make that on my next order. I'll need some money account bill if you want to put some in today.
Yeah, I'll give myself a reminder and make sure I do that.
Yeah, because I did make an order, but there's no money in the account, so the money won't pull out until tomorrow morning. As long as you put some in tonight, it'll be fine.
All right. Let me make myself an alarm.
Okay. I got myself some more coffees, a couple more sleeves of saltines, and some more root beer barrels. And I got myself a little treat. I got myself a little box of fruit punch beverage mix.
Yep, you're correct there.
Okay.
And on my next order, I will get some reading glasses and see how that goes for me. Can't believe I'm already looking into reading glasses. I feel like an old man.
Oh, you're getting old. Hey, question.
Yeah.
He's a pretty direct talker. Chris
Well, you
Stouts.
left town to go to Kissimmee. What time did you leave?
It was in the afternoon. It was a Sunday. Sunday
Or like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock-ish, something like that.
Could have been later, 6 o'clock?
Maybe. I don't think I got to Kissimmee until around 8:30-ish.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That sound about right?
I was curious as to...
That's a good comment, Becca.
I don't know if I said goodbye to you when you left. You said something about when I get back we would go shooting, so I guess we're not going to do that now.
Believe me, I'd love to go shoot. Sorry we didn't get to do that.
There's a lot of things.
Kathleen, he actually talks about this in another call. He doesn't come right out and say it, though.
Not going to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't think they do pizza in prison.
No, that's one thing I'm not going to get.
Thanks,
or
Michelle.
Taco Bell, or, I always said that life isn't so bad as long as you still have pizza and tacos. I don't have those.
Oh, they're opening up a Del Taco in Port Charlotte.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Yes, I think they're opening it up down the street from Arby's.
It's a bummer.
That's an interesting thought, Words Bloom. That's a theory that I have not considered before.
Yeah, I saw that and thought of you right away.
Yeah, well, it's great that you should, because that definitely would have been exciting news for me.
Yep.
Hey, Liz says, Gavin, has your opinion of Stephan Stern's parents changed? I have waffled. I'm a waffler. And I readily admit it. And there are even some comments on the videos where people are like really mad at me. Like, you know what? You really shouldn't give so much grace to Stephan Stern's parents. I am no longer subscribed. They have to announce that they're going to do that. But I've been waffling. I'm trying to think about here. Like, this is before they went on the Hidden True Crime interview, which was an interview that I really enjoyed. Not that I enjoyed them. I enjoyed watching it. They did have a very different kind of way of presenting their feelings about their son in the case. Deb still came off as somebody who was quite a defender of her son. Chris still came off as somebody who was a little less, what do I want to say? He's suspicious of his son. Well, they definitely thought that he did what he's being accused of. So I'm waffling back and forth, and I don't know what else to say. Hey, speaking of subscribers, real quick, let me show you guys something. I don't do this very often. Let me bring up the website. You can go to the website to get all of Madeline's stuff, guys. You can know that. But check this out. Look how close to 114,000 we are. That's pretty fun. Pretty fun indeed. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go.
I just feel so sad sometimes.
Me too.
Yep. A lot of people getting the backlash from this. People who care anyway.
Thanks, Maddie.
Yeah. Pray to God.
A lot of hurt going around everywhere.
Yep. Just, one of my biggest regrets is that I've been so cavalier and so careless with the people that cared about me and that relied on me to be better than I was.
Yep.
Yep. Like one of my biggest and deepest regrets.
Yep. Yep. Unfortunately, there's no backspace, delete, and do over it. We're past that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I like Chris.
I just keep praying to God to deliver me from this and give me a chance to do it right.
Oh, so he's trying to play the same.
That's a big if.
He's trying to do the same thing with his dad that works on his mom. Talk about how he's praying, he's asking for forgiveness, all that stuff. And Chris just isn't having it. That's a big if. That's funny.
Yeah, no, it's a big ask, and I told him even if I'm not worthy of it now, that I'll work my best to become worthy of it.
Yeah.
And I hope that you guys.
Well, the murder charge aside, I mean, you're pretty much fucked on the other side.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to.
Potentially, no, you are. You're hosed, man. And Chris knows it. And 1,700 pieces of evidence. And just think about what they went through to take to all this evidence, right? I blurred it for you guys. You're welcome. But just think about everything that they have on this guy. Now, he's hosed. He is hosed. It's not potential. It's happening.
Deny anything one way or the other. I'm trying to hold on to hope as best as I can, and
yeah, Victoria.
See how the cards fall out here.
Yep. Yep. Hey, do you want to follow up on where your mail order is?
Uncle Gavin doesn't come out all that often. Sometimes it's needed.
Billy,
when I talked
that for Ben?
When I spoke to the mental health director, she said that she would check with the mailroom, but in case that she forgot to do that, which it's likely that she did forget, that you guys could also call the mailroom and check in with them and say, hey, we're trying to send our son some books from the outside. What's the deal with that?
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll follow up on Monday.
Yep. So if you guys get a hold of the mail.
Sammy, that is an interesting take, because she did say to the police that because of her medication, she did not have a libido. That is an interesting take.
You should be able to look into that and see what's what.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that last time. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good comment, Susan. Thank you.
No problem.
But anyway.
So, well, this is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to make sure that I called you before the phone system turned off and hoped that I caught you at a good time.
Yep. Yep.
Sitting in an open house.
You did. I just finished up with some people.
Are you showing houses or sitting at an open house?
No, I was just showing some homes.
Okay. So you're going back into the general side of things?
That's all I'm doing.
Well, I guess with the way the market is going down there, I guess general is not such a bad thing right now, huh?
I don't know, Art.
Oh, much better. You're not stuck trying to sell a single product. You've got the whole market available to yourself.
Yeah.
You get to control the narrative.
Yeah, and I imagine that probably is a good deal right now, especially with the way, it's heating up down there, so.
Exactly, Kim.
Yep.
Wish I could be there to help you out.
Well, me too, but can't dwell on that. We got to figure out what kind of path we can carve out it for you in the future.
Yep.
Maybe God has a plan for you.
Maybe.
I get the feeling that the thing that Chris is most worried about is that he'll never see his son on the outside of a prison cell, or outside of a prison at all, for the rest of his life. Now, that is actually a sad reality for a parent, right? I mean, that's the way it should be. But as an older guy in their 70s or late 60s, 70s, something like that, they're looking at a life sentence for their son. That would be a gift if he only got a life sentence. And he's sitting here going, well, what's going to happen when I'm gone? Is anybody going to think about him, take care of him, right? And while he is a little more hard-nosed than Deb is, he still is rather enabling with the money and everything. Angels, I do like this comment. Parents seem to be surprised of the essay. Yeah, thank you for that comment, and thank you, Rose, for the super chat. I appreciate that.
Maybe I won't spend the rest of my natural life in these places, and if so, I need to have some sort of plan together.
Yep.
Some sort of resource to fall back on.
You're a smart guy. You articulate well, you get passionate about something, maybe God has a plan for you.
Thank you.
Maybe. If I get to be free again, I've been thinking about that, Obviously, job prospects are going to be difficult to come by. I might need some sort of resources to help me get back on my feet immediately until I can work out the income situation.
Yeah. Don't know what that would be, but because
I don't know, maybe
we may be gone by the time you get out.
I don't know if there's any way we might be able to set up some sort of trust fund or something. I don't know.
It's always just about
I don't know
money.
how that would work out, but
Wow.
maybe some sort of plan could be gotten together, but that's all conjecture until we know what's going to be what here.
Yep.
So,
Well, once we figure out what's what, then we can figure out what to do in the future.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
did you manage to find my watch?
No, not yet.
Okay, you probably haven't looked for it yet.
Well, if it's in the storage stuff, I'm not tearing that stuff apart because you can imagine I had to clear
the boxes that were in my room.
Well, we've been through the boxes and it wasn't in your room.
But you didn't look inside the mouse droid popcorn receptacle?
We went through everything.
So
and I can tell you it wasn't there.
So it wasn't in the mouse droid popcorn bucket?
Nope.
Damn, where is that watch? It's got to be in there somewhere. I mean, it wouldn't be anywhere else. I would have brought it with me.
Well, I can tell you that we went through everything, fine-tooth comb, and not there.
Yeah.
What do you think that watch is worth?
At least in the condition that it's in right now, I mean, it needs servicing. It's probably overdue for service, but $1,200, a couple thousand maybe more.
Yeah.
If you find these certificates of...
I think we're talking about like an Omega Seamaster. It wasn't the story that he got some inheritance and he went and bought an Omega. I'm actually just guessing at the Seamaster thing because that's the most common kind of lower end Omega watch. It's not low end, but you know what I mean. It makes me wonder if Deb and Chris are kind of in a passive aggressive way going, nope, didn't find it. They found it, but who cares? We're supporting you. We're sending you money all the time. It makes me wonder if that's what they're doing, but I don't know. Don't want to call them liars. Just the thought occurred to me.
Everything that are in the stores, my Omega box is in there somewhere. That will help.
I think you're on target with the first number because Omegas don't get the value that Rolexes do.
Well, probably.
So
Rolexes do retain their value a lot better.
Carol, that is a excellent comment. If he's sued for wrongful death, couldn't they seize any funds they set up for him? I don't know what the legalities are. I mean, if there's anything that belongs to Stephan, that could have a judgment against it. Yeah. If they set up a trust fund that is their trust fund, they're like the trustees, but the beneficiary is Stephan. I don't know. I don't know. They probably are thinking in those terms, actually. But great comment.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about that. I just wanted something that was different and not a Rolex. Any a-hole with money goes and gets a Rolex. Doesn't require any taste or any knowledge. I like the fact that Grandpa had an Omega as well.
Thank you, Chrissy.
I don't know. It seemed appropriate using his inheritance to buy the same kind of watch that he would have had.
Ooh, Chrissy, that's tough.
You can't do what?
I said it seemed appropriate to use his inheritance to buy the same kind of watch that he would have had. made me feel a little more connected to him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even remember what his watch looked like. I know he wasn't wearing it towards the end. He was wearing some Timex, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had it to do over, though, I might have got something like a Rolex or maybe a Sage LeCoultre.
A lot of small talk here. Chit-chat about watches and stuff.
Submariners are always nice and fun.
There's a lot of Rolexes out there, that's for sure.
Yep, there are. You don't see many JLCs, though.
I think he's just after money. That's all it is. He doesn't have to pay for his defense. He's indigent. So he's got actually a fine defense attorney, a good team. So I don't think it's that. I think he just wants the money.
That's a little more of a offbeat brand. But, or maybe I would have even gotten a ball. That would have been cheaper than the Omega.
Tony, man, I appreciate this question. I really appreciate this question. I'm sorry to interrupt the recording. We've got about 5 minutes left, looks like. No, less than that, about a minute and a half. Okay, I'm going to come back to this, okay? What you feel is I'll just address it now. Let's see, before I do, I don't want to lose this one. Sheho, thank you very much for that super chat. Maddie's favorite colors. Orange and purple, is that what it is? I'm colorblind, so I have a hard time. Thank you for that. Okay, so back to the Schadenfreude. Okay, Tony. Why don't I believe in prison justice? Okay, there is a very human emotion. It almost everybody feels it. Okay, you're not the only one. I feel it too, and it is this deep desire. It comes from a good place. This deep desire for justice, for comeuppance, for people to get what they deserve. And that is not a bad thing to want that for people. However, in a society, we don't want that kind of justice just doled out by whomever feels that they can dole out the justice, because they could be wrong. That is why the legal system is super important. That is why we have, this. It's based on English common law, obviously. So we're many hundreds of years old, refining the system of justice for the purpose of making sure that the guilty parties are actually guilty. Now, the place where our justice system fails is that we tend to lean too far, or I don't know if it's too far, but on the side of it would be better for a guilty person to go free than an innocent person to face punishment. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's just that we need to keep the fidelity of the law. We just do. And that's super important. So for me, Schadenfreude is something that I feel, that need for somebody to get what they deserve, but I don't want it doled out in prison. I just don't. But I understand your feeling. Thank you for that question. Aida, thank you very much for the super chat. You are awesome. Okay, here we go back with the recording.
A lot more robust. Oh, well. A lot of things I would probably do differently. But I just wish I'd been more careful with the people that I loved.
More careful with the people he loved.
Well, maybe you'll get a second chance at that, but
I'm really hoping that
you got a big hill to climb up, that's for sure.
Yep, I know it's very thin chances, but I hope that you and Mom will pray for me to get that second chance. And for God to hear my prayers in regards to that, to deliver me from this situation and from the people that are wanting to destroy me.
He said this in the last one. There's nobody that wants to destroy you. That's not right. There are probably plenty of people that want to destroy him, but that's not what's happening to him right now. Right now, he is facing the consequences of his actions. So maybe he's talking about he wants to be safe in prison or something like that. I just don't buy that. I don't buy any of this just finding religion stuff at all. And possibly
do whatever it takes to be worthy of that. He lives in a more upright and virtuous way.
We got a minute remaining.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, if you want, I can try to call you again tonight. Otherwise, I can call you back in a couple days.
Whatever you want, we're available.
Okay, well, I'll try again tonight, but if you don't hear from me, then expect me within the next few days or so.
Yeah, we're coming to the end. About 20 seconds
good.
left.
And don't forget to put some money into the commissary tonight so that the
money,
order will go
please.
through tomorrow.
I set an alarm.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I love you very much, Dad.
Love you too. Take care.
Give my love to Mom.
I will.
You know,
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
the ability to just ask for money or demand money from his parents is amazing to me. I mean, as a parent, I want my kids to ask if they have a need. I definitely don't want them to be afraid to ask. And my parents have certainly bailed us out on more than one occasion. My goodness, they've been super generous over the years. Goodness. But it's always been really, really hard to ask. And his ability to just, don't forget to send me money is amazing to me. It's shocking to me that he can do that. Robin, I probably can't now, but we can talk about it with the mods in the Slack channel, okay? Let's see. Lorby, Gavin, is it me or could Dad be getting some revenge by making him see what he gets for landing in jail? It's possible. Yeah. I wonder if his parents will attend the CSAM trial. I think they will. Dava says he's always been indigent. Probably. That's a good comment. That's a very good comment. Purple and green, says Bree. Okay, I'm very sorry. I've got the worst color deficiency. It's one of the reasons why I am not a professional pilot. I could not pass my class 1 physical because my eyesight. I had to get a class 3 and settle for private piloting. Yes, Robin, Schadenfreude. Let's see. Beach Life says, Gavin, with Stephan Stern's dad, former being in some type of law profession, I think he knows what's going on and knows his son is corrupt. His mom is just blind love. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty fair. Victoria says, Gavin, they may be wrong 1% of the time, but when it's obviously I want prison justice for Stephan Stearns because as a mother, I would want revenge for Maddie. Yeah, here's the thing about justice. I have spoken to no family who are the family members of a victim of a violent crime whose murderer or abuser has been found guilty and has even been sentenced to life in some cases. I've talked to these families. They do not feel justice, ever. It never comes. And that's the thing, is that if somebody were to dole out some prison justice on Mr. Stearns and he were to lose his life because of it, they still would not feel that justice. It doesn't come. It never comes. In my opinion, it never comes. So we just need to continue to refine the system to make it the best system it could possibly be. That's just me. And guys, I've got so many comments here. I'm kind of skipping over some, so I apologize for that. Kat says, I agree with you about justice. It is how God balances the scale so everyone is treated fairly for their actions. If it wasn't that way, God would not be a just God. Okay. Didn't Stephan Stern steal his grandfather's Rolex? Yeah, that was one of the things that very passive aggressively his mom brought up in one of the early calls. Jess says, Gavin, if they could be wrong is enough to steer one from believing in prison justice, why isn't it the same for DP? Not in Stephan Stern's case, but for the wrongly accused potentially being executed. Man, great questions, guys. And I try to stay pretty far away from really politically motivated things, but I'm going to answer this one and try to be fair to both sides. I will disclose that I am not opposed to DP. I'm not opposed. But just to be, I guess, fair, those who are opposed to DP have a very good reason to be. And that reason is that it's possible that innocent people get convicted, get sentenced, and then that sentence carried out. And they have been an innocent person the whole time. And that is definitely true. I mean, that's borne out. Tons of innocent people are found, tons of convicted people who profess their innocence their whole life are later proven to have been innocent, and they are released before. And some of them don't have the DP, but some of them do, right? They get off of death row. So that's a very good reason to be opposed. On the other hand, there are just some things where the punishment isn't enough. Like there isn't enough of a punishment. There's no restitution that can be made. And that's the other side. That's the other viewpoint. That there just isn't enough restitution that can be made. That person must have to have their life taken from them. So those are the 2 points of view. Jess, I don't know that I am being a hypocrite here or not. I just feel like on that side, the one that I just explained, the remedy is to try our best to refine and work on the legal system so that doesn't happen. I mean, there are people that have been, their sentences have been commuted or they've been pardoned after, like posthumously, because the DP has been carried out. So both sides of that issue are very, have merit. I should say that. I just don't think that we should be doling out the prison justice by violent people. That's just where I stand. I completely understand if somebody disagrees with me on that. I do. Thanks for that comment, Jess. I appreciate that. Okay, I am going to... I'm not going to be able to keep up with comments. So let's go to the second recording here. Okay, so this one is 5 days later. It's about 7:43 p.m. Let me skip ahead. About a minute 40, right around in there is where we need to start it to kind of skip through the ringing and all that stuff. Okay, here we go.
Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Stephan Stern.
an inmate at
Osceola County Corrections Department.
To accept this call, press or say 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey,
Hey there.
is this a good time?
Yeah, I tried to get the call the first time and it just disconnected us, so I don't know.
When it goes to voicemail, it just auto refuses.
No, it didn't go to voicemail. I was trying to pick it up. So.
Okay. Are you at home?
Yes. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering if you were around, if both of you guys were there.
Hey, I just happened to notice this comment here real quick. Yeah, and according to Bree, who is one of our amazing moderators, she shared it with me up until the 25th of January or so, they were still in touch. She got those records through a public records request, shared them with me. So, yeah, they're still in contact. Let's bring it back.
We're both here.
All right. So did you hear from my attorney yet?
Yes.
Okay, so you got the news then that they filed this morning to seek the death penalty?
Yeah.
How are you guys holding up?
Well, we're just waiting for this to play out. So,
Yeah.
So Debbie, your mother said that you were officially charged with murder. I didn't know about seeking the death penalty. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, it was always a possibility. And the level they charged me at, obviously, if they seek it, there's a good chance that they can get it. So at 10 o'clock this morning, they officially filed for intent to seek death.
I'm sure he was expecting that. Why wouldn't they? It's Florida.
Well, it won't happen for a long time, according to your attorney, if at all. And from what we heard, your judge does not like the death penalty. He thinks it's too lenient, and he would rather have you in jail for the rest of your freaking life.
Oh, wonderful.
That's what
I hate
Emily
to say
just
it, but
said.
I'd rather have you on death row because you're in more seclusion and you're not really with the bulk of the population of the people.
Wow, the
I
things
hate
they have to
say
think
it, but
about.
I'd rather be on death row too because I agree with them. It's a much easier way out.
Yep.
I'd rather,
And like she said, there'll be appeal after appeal after appeal, and
Yeah, she said it could take up to 25 years for them to finally get around to executing me if I'm found guilty.
yeah, and by that time you might welcome it, but we won't be here to see it.
By that time, it's about all I've got in me to serve anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll see what the point is.
They said you were put.
Back in seclusion.
They said they put you back in seclusion.
Well, I've been in seclusion this whole time.
Well, that you're going to stay there or something. So I don't know. A lot of misinformation.
Yeah, well, I'm still in isolation, yes. I'm still in medical, although they moved me to a different cell here in medical, but this one has a bed at least, or I should say a platform to put my mat on. But, I'll be moved again because eventually they're going to need this cell back. Because it's got a restraint.
Any word on the books?
No. Were you able to follow up with the mailroom on Monday?
Well, we tracked the order and it was delivered to Seminole, so we know it was delivered.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get a hold of anybody.
Oh, okay. You can't call the facility here and ask to be transferred to the mailroom or something?
I don't know. They have a mailroom there. I guess I can call.
The mailroom is at a central distributing place.
Yeah, but they have to have a delivery. They have to have a delivery depot there to accept the mail.
I have to sort everything and send it to the proper people.
Yeah, I'll try again tomorrow.
Okay.
This is another great comment from Victoria. I wonder how in the heck they expect to find a jury for this case. That's a great comment. We get people all the time commenting on my videos that are like, I had no idea this was happening, and they live in Kissimmee. For those of us who live in this true crime bubble, and I think even the lawyers, that they wouldn't call it the true crime bubble, they would just say, I live in this work bubble, right? I think that they see the world through a heavily distorted lens, as do we, being inside this bubble. That we think that everybody is talking about this, and the reality is it's a very small segment of the population that is. So I don't think they're going to have a hard time finding a jury at all. One case that I covered locally, and this is it's a very small county that I covered a case in. It was a murder case, and in the entire county, there are like 35,000 people living in the entire county. And I covered this case locally through EYT Media ad nauseum, dude. I like from the moment that I got a tip that something was going on down in a certain place in a certain little area of the county, and got there and got pictures of what was going on all the way through to sentencing. Let's say all the way to jury selection. Sentencing hasn't happened. It's about a week off. All the way through jury selection. The public defender, who is a guy that I admire and really like, was making motions to the court that we need to move this case to another county because EYT media has been covering this too much. I'll never be able to get an impartial jury. They were able to seat a jury after about 4 hours of voir dire. There were so many people that are like, I've never heard anything about this. And I had written so much about it. So we're living in a bubble. They will be able to find jurors. I am supremely confident.
But,
All right.
so yeah, I got the news earlier and told my attorney that I'd try to call you this evening, but you guys should hear it from her before you hear it from the news in case I can't get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're expecting
I need to.
a little bit of blowback from that.
Yep, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of ruckus and some people getting riled up. And
I'm cooking ravioli that I got to. Sorry, I'm caught me in the middle of cooking here, so I'm going to walk out to the kitchen.
no worries. I guess I took the news pretty well, though.
Yeah, you. Congratulations, you.
Well, okay, that's good.
I'm just remarkably calm about everything. I've had this overwhelming sense of peace and serenity, and I don't know, maybe that will change, maybe it won't. I don't know.
You know what is happening here? Okay. How many of you guys watched Parks and Rec? Do you remember John Ralphio and Mona Lisa Saperstein? And Dr. Saperstein was their dad, and he was played by Henry Winkler, and they would always be like, oh, I feel so bad about it, Daddy. Money, please. That is what is happening with Stephan Stearns here. Oh, I took it remarkably well. You know, I've just had a calmness about me. Money, please. That's what it feels like to me. We should start calling him Stephan Saperstein because he is John Ralphio here, man. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it just occurred to me.
Weird as it sounds.
For some reason, we thought that we were right around the corner, I guess. Less than an hour from Orlando, and I said, we're 3 hours.
Yeah, there will be automatic appeals.
So, I mean, our understanding and impression is that you didn't do this, so why do you feel at peace and serenity with it?
I don't know.
What a great question. Oh, we were under the impression that you didn't do this. Why do you feel peace and serenity? Oh, what a great question.
I guess whatever happens, I don't know.
I mean, are you going to be accepted? Going to be the fall guy for this? Is that the deal?
Well, I think between that and the prospect of spending the rest of my natural life in a very miserable place before I eventually die alone with no one to care about me or give a shit that I've passed on, I don't know. I think...
Well, I mean, I think whoever's involved in this needs to have justice served on them. I mean, if you're not part of this, then let's get that cleared up. I mean, it's not for you, but for the family.
I'm pretty positive that this was all an accident.
It was all an accident? Did he just say this was all an accident? I'm going to back up about 10 seconds. Here we go.
Pretty positive that this was all an accident. I'm not sure that any one person is to blame. Maybe no one's to blame, or maybe everyone's to blame a little bit. I'm not sure, but
I'm pretty sure this was an accident. I don't know. I wasn't even there. I'm pretty sure this was an accident. Maybe some person's to blame. Maybe everybody's to blame. I think I probably have a little bit of blame here. I don't know. I wasn't even there. It was probably an accident. Talking in circles. The circular logic here is baffling. The fact that Chris asked that question, I think Stephan was not ready for a question like that. He just talked in circles. He babbled. We call that the PA ramble out here in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Yeah, he's rambling because he doesn't know what to say.
Honestly, there's no grand conspiracy here to hurt her.
Were you awake when she...
What? No grand conspiracy to hurt. It doesn't matter. There doesn't have to be a grand conspiracy. There doesn't have to be any thought put into it at all except the moment that you decided to squeeze harder. Wow. This guy.
Send her into the room?
I want to go back about 5 seconds here. They're finally getting into some of the good stuff.
No grand conspiracy here to hurt her.
Were you awake when sent her into the room with you?
Yeah.
And she was fine when she came into your room? What time at night was that?
Maybe 11-ish or so, I'm not sure.
Okay, so she was fine, so what happened between 11 and whenever you found her?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when you say you were out of the room, for what length of time were you out of the room?
I don't know.
15 minutes?
No. I left the room a couple times. The first time I left to go to the bathroom, and the second time I was out of the room for maybe a couple hours or so, maybe more. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that was plenty of time for the one-armed man to do it.
Plenty of time for the one-armed man to do it. Wow. Oh my goodness. That was terrific. That, of course, coming from the classic Fugitive, the television show later made into the movie. Plenty of time. Basically, he's saying, yeah, give me another conspiracy theory. Plenty of time for the one-armed man to do it. Oh my goodness, that was terrific.
Without getting into too much detail, she was acting kind of weird before she went to sleep, so I don't know what was going on there.
How was she acting weird?
But,
could it possibly be that she didn't want to be in your bed? Could it be that she was relieved that you were not there, and then she came home and found that you were, and then a little while later was sent up into your bed? Maybe that would make her act weird?
Weird? Like having difficulty?
Just strange behavior, acting loopy, things like that. So I'm not sure.
Have you been drugged?
I honestly can't get into too many details just because I don't want to hurt my case, but I have some suspicions in that regard.
Wow.
Whether it was given to her by anyone or whether she helped herself, there are reasons to believe she may have done that as well.
But
I can't.
Okay.
Obviously, can't get into too much detail because
No,
I'll stick
I know.
to the case, and my attorney will tear my throat out with her bare teeth if I flap my lips too much.
Okay. Well, you must be flapping them to her.
I'm giving notes to her. One of the social workers whose specialty is dealing with people who are looking at the death penalty. She'll be here Monday, so I'll pass some more notes through her to my attorney, Alicia. And I guess some more lawyers are going to be hopping on board at this point. There's going to be a whole team working on this. But
four more attorneys.
It's going to be an all-hands-on-deck kind of thing.
He was gone for a couple hours, he says.
I had a long conversation with them today, so I just, there's some things that cannot be passed off as you didn't do it. As you know, there's too much evidence to it. But I told them, I said, you're still my son and I don't hate you, and I do not believe, in my heart, I do not believe that you killed that child. You loved her too much, and she loved you, and I just don't think it happened that way. So if it was an accident.
Let's just talk about the probabilities here. And let's be real about this, okay? We know that Madeline died by strangulation. Now, how often, statistically, and I don't know the answer to this, I just feel like it's really low. Statistically, how many times does a woman strangle a girl? And how many times would it be, how often is it a man strangling a girl? I feel like it's way more often going to be male on female, let's say. She died by strangulation. I just don't think, I think a 13-year-old could fight off a 35-year-old woman. 13-year-old girl, I think she'd have a fighting chance. But against a 37-year-old man, I don't think she had a fighting chance at all. So, yeah, I find his claim to be without credibility.
I had a lot of wonderful plans for the week, and we were all looking forward to it, and we were all very happy to be reunited. It had been months since we'd all seen each other, and there's no reason that I would have given all of that up for literally no reason to hurt her and trade it all in for this.
No, there isn't. But there's jealousy on the other side, too. I mean, if she told you, I hope you don't leave me for my daughter, that tells me that she was thinking about that for a while.
That part is weird. I'll give him that. I'm not excusing Jennifer Soto on this at all. I think that she definitely took part in this in some way. But to believe that it was her that killed her daughter seems pretty far-fetched to me. I guess the possibility is still there.
Well, it was said half-jokingly, but, it's just one of those again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of shit going on,
Yes, I do. I have nightmares imagining what you're living right now.
I'm okay.
And
it sucks. It's just a terrible place, and I've heard other inmates in the cells next to me talking about it. Those that have been in and out of correctional institutions their whole lives, and they say of all the county jails they've been to, this one is by far the worst.
Well, actually, Rebecca said that today too. She said they are much more paranoid, and they're stricter than they would have been in Orange County.
Yeah, they don't regard your rights as being as too important here either. They don't treat you like a human being. They're very antagonistic here as well. And mental health can hold you in these cells in isolation against your will for as long as they want to under the guise of self-harm protocols.
Again, I mean, there is some truth to that. There is some definite truth to that. One of my moderators / admin of my page, she is the OG when it comes to that side of my channel, Jamie. I got to know her because she was working on behalf of inmates in our local prison claiming abuse. And I think that she was right in a lot of the cases. And there is this whole thing where jailers will use the excuse of, he's a danger of harming himself, so we're going to do these really, really draconian treatments for him. That definitely happens. on the other side, I'm sure that there are a lot of us that feel like, well, whatever, that Schadenfreude, bringing back to Schadenfreude, right? But he's probably right that he is probably being treated a little poorly in the jail because of who he is, what he's done, and what the guards know about it. That's probably true.
And if you qualify for bail or bond, they can just keep holding you here and not let you walk free until they're, quote unquote, decide you're not a danger to yourself, and they can decide that for whatever reason they dream up.
Yeah.
It's all very, very, really murky.
Yeah, the whole thing is murky right now.
Yeah, a lot of people lose their minds in this place.
Well, I could see that happening.
Yep. And, you know, I hear and see people that go into these isolation cells like I'm in, they start losing it completely and breaking down after 2 or 3 days.
We don't know, Gail. Not that I've seen
Well,
anyone.
you're stronger than that.
Yep, I've been in here for over 3 months now in isolation, and I've never once lost it like that, so.
But you know what? Truth be told, you've never been one that needed to have people around you. No. You didn't need it. It's nice to have them, but you don't need it.
You know, it's just.
Yeah.
I just keep telling myself that there are people that have survived worse than this, and this is not going to kill me, and this is not going to break me.
Okay. Don't let it.
No, I won't. I'm determined not to.
Know that we're here.
And I keep telling myself.
I understand that if we can get this car sold, where we can get some money for your account there. I understand that you can actually, like, maybe pay $5 to see a movie or something on those tablets.
No, I don't know about that.
It's like a penny. I don't know if it's a penny a word or what it is with the text messages, but you have to keep them brief.
Okay.
Hey, while I'm thinking of it, can you, that smart connections or communications, can you send your passwords for some of your accounts, especially Spotify, because I keep getting billed for monthly for Spotify?
There's the 1 minute number. Yeah, I can try to pass those along to you.
Or give it to your attorney and have her do it.
If nothing else, I'll give it to the social worker on Monday. But I keep telling myself every day, repeating this mantra, you know, patience and faith, patience and faith. I just have to have patience and faith.
Now give me money. Money, please.
Yes, you do.
And I keep praying to God for deliverance, and I just have this overwhelming sense of serenity, and I hope that's His way of telling me it's all going to be okay.
Deliverance, serenity, and money, please.
Well, regardless, what it is, Stephan, it's His way of letting you know that regardless of what happens on earth, you've asked for forgiveness, He's forgiven you, and you're not going to be penalized further.
I'll try to call you back in 15 minutes, so if you don't hear from me, I'll call back for the next couple of days.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
And that's the end of that one. I don't have it up. We're going to listen to a couple more tomorrow, guys, and I hope that you're not getting sick of these. I think we learned so much on this, and I enjoy our conversations, especially when we disagree, like talking about the DP, like talking about Schadenfreude. I love that we're doing that. Let's see. So tonight we listen to 6-7 at 9:43, right? I'm sorry, 7:43. So tomorrow we're going to listen to 2 more calls from the same day, one at 8:20 and one at 8:52. So they did 3 calls that day, and that's what we're going to be listening to tomorrow. Before we go, we've been going like an hour and 5 minutes, so very sorry. I just want to see if there's anything else that you guys have been saying in here. TJ Truth, Gavin, I'm way behind, but I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of the justice system. You're coming from the perception of the facade of the justice system, but that's not really what it is. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. And I mean, yeah, I might lean a little too far that direction. And I appreciate the criticism, especially the way that you said it. That was great. Doe Baby, case is hard to watch as a survivor. Ooh, man, I bet it is. And I'm so sorry for you. NYC Boomer says Maddie is the victim here, so I have no pity for this man-child. A lot of people feel that way. I have very little pity for the guy too. I just want the system to be fidel. I want it to have fidelity. Fidel would be the Spanish word. I don't think we say fidel in English, but I would like it to have fidelity. And is it a facade? I think sometimes it probably is. That's true. Dusty Crochet. Gavin, after listening to these last week, I went and watched the video from the other YouTube channel who interviewed the parents. That's Hidden True Crime. They did a good job. What a difference in their outlook. Indeed. Yeah, great comments, guys. Great comments. Yeah. Maybe he believes the commissary is the same as the sanctuary. That might be the comment of the night. Great comment. Guys, you guys always are, you never disappoint, man. You never disappoint. Such great commentary. Let's see, is there anything else that we want to, that we want to talk about before, not Siri. Sorry is what I said. My phone just went crazy. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Just the standard stuff, right? Head on over to the website, gavinfish.com, to see everything about her case. There's a link in the description down below. Hey, also remember in the description down below that there is a link to the Osceola County court system, so you can look up what's going on the court in both court cases using that link. Let's see. Oh, the merch link that has been in the description that has been pretty much dead for months is fixed now. So now that we've got the merch store back on the website, thank you to those of you who are already ordering stuff. Your support of the channel is just nothing short of a miracle to me. Those of you who gave super chats tonight, thank you very much for your generosity. That just means so much to me. I appreciate all of you. If you're watching, liking, sharing, whatever, commenting, participating, I deeply appreciate each one of you. While you're on this site, if you click on this little fishy right here, that will take you to the fish tank. That's where we hang out on Facebook, if you want to join us there. Also, don't forget about Crime Cod, my full-blown true crime website. Definitely check out Crime Cod. You can subscribe to my newsletter there as well. I keep promising that I'll start to really activate that newsletter, and I will. I just have kind of a triage of things that I'm trying to get done here on the channel. I have help from so many people, but there are just some things that I have to do myself. So we will get going on that. All right. So tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we will continue with a couple more of these recordings. Beyond that, we've got, goodness sake, we've got at least another couple days after that. So probably the rest of the week we will spend on this case. Okay. So hopefully I will see you on the next one. Until then, I bid you adieu. Take care of yourselves. And until then, bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.